Hi, I'm Amy Abrams. I'm Vice President and Controller for a local credit union, and this is my basement. This is what we're going to be finishing. I had 3 estimates. Those estimates were roughly in the $45,000 range fees. I had 4 estimates come in, all of which were through the email initially, where I gave size and just general description of how I wanted my basement finished. 2 of the estimates came back through email, $30,000, no problem, we'll be okay. Other one, $33,000. They came out, saw the basement, got back with me, $47,000 to finish the basement. I was shocked. So I called this other company, the current company I went with, and they said, no problem, we can probably do it for $30,000, let me come out and look at it. I see no reason why we can't do that. They came out $28,670. They didn't even come in to come up to the $30,000. And in addition to that, their $28,670 included a lot of features that the other estimates did not.
It's Rollins Factory. I'm in the basement of my home. Atlanta Basement came out. They did an estimate for us. It's by far the most for the least amount of money. We had other inspectors, not inspectors, but other contractors come out, and they wanted all this money, and they wasn't going to do any of what we got here from Atlanta Basement.
We got a quote from a guy, and it was high, about 10 grand more than Judith. He had some good ideas, but we got him as a reference, and there was a lot of upcharges at the end. After the quote that was even high, was a lot of upcharges for any kind of change that was made. There was upcharges.
Hi, my name is Dr. Nath. I found Judy through an online search right when I was in need for a couple of more quotes because I wanted to get more than 1 quote, obviously. Actually more than 2 quotes. I got 3 quotes, and finally Judith came by and basically blew everyone out of the water with the information she provided and how detail oriented she was, and basically not just gave a basic plan, but also threw in some design aspects of making the basement look better, and also thought of it in terms of potentially selling it. So it was a great match.
And whenever I would ask her and say, I don't think I told her that at first, I would say, oh, Judith, can you do this? Can you add this? She would always say, no problem. We can do anything you want, no problem. She didn't say, oh, I don't know if we can do that now. She just always said, no problem, we can do anything you want. And it was done. It was not added on at an unbelievable price. It was done for the materials and labor. And I'm very pleased with how it's moving along, and her ideas are just great.
We had to do a radon gas system in the house. After we did our inspection, the inspector told us that we needed a radon gas system. From what we understand, the system usually costs about $5,000 or $6,000. Judith put it in for us for under $2,000. I think it was like $1,800 or less, which was very, very good. So,
and there was also 24-page documentation she had to study.
Yeah, so correct. So that was a good deal as well. So it wasn't like we had to spend a whole lot of money to do that. Although it wasn't in the budget, it was very inexpensive, and we were able to put it in the budget.
About how, I expected to have this low drop ceiling like every other basement, but with what the designer recommended was just simply rerouting a couple things that were in the way into these trays. And then, bam, I have a 10-foot ceiling. It's awesome.
We want to talk about HomeWise.com.
Oh, yeah. So, the plan was, well, how much is it going to cost to get this high ceiling? Wow, once I heard that design, that's definitely what I wanted. But that might be a little more expensive. People got to reroute. We had some gas line. We had HVAC lines. We had plumbing lines. And the designer sent me straight to a website gave me all of my square footage and said, here's the calculation on how much it will cost to frame up a lower ceiling versus getting the price from the HVAC guy and the other
Right.
contractors on how much it would be to move everything. And it actually worked out just as easy, if not better, to move everything.
It was less expensive.
Less expensive, and then I have the higher ceiling, so...
Yeah, that worked out good.
Right. So
Right. I mean,
awesome.
because this is an expensive basement per square foot because it's so small. And
Yeah.
so we're trying to do something to jazz it up a little bit with the
for
funds
sure.
spent.
Yep.
And then we had the bar. We were able to work the bar in.
Right. I said when I had the budget and they came down here, I was on tight budget. I mean, I wanted. That's why I figured with everything that was already here, let's just frame it in and go. She came down, had the idea of opening this up. Didn't really make a huge difference in the price. And then I told her from the start, this is where I would like to have a bar, but a bar is my luxury, I guess. My wife didn't care if we had a bar or not. My kids don't care if we have a bar or not. But I said, if it's any way possible, this is... Immediately, she sketched out, showed me exactly how she would do it if she was going to do a bar back here. Said, according to everything else that's going on, it really won't make a big difference in price. So we were able to still get the bar in there also. Again, the cost didn't even change. Yeah. It's a better system, and everything keeps fitting into the budget somehow. So it's great.
Thank you. Do you want to just give people an idea of how the contract runs and basically that everything was laid out in Excel or?
Yeah, initially Judith came to me and then explained everything, and then and then she kind of laid out everything in the ledger book, and then she step by step she worked initially on the framing, and then electricals, and then plumbing, and then and then flooring, and then all these things were been broken down into different items, and then the price was very minimal, and then she was very flexible to change the plans and accommodate the request whatever I had within the same budget plan. And it was great working with Judith. She's awesome.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Aaron, and I moved here from Pennsylvania about 6 months ago, and I work at the local hospital here in Villa Rica, Georgia. And I have 4 kids. I'm extremely busy with my job, and I wanted my basement finished, but I don't have time to hunt anybody down, be in charge of a project, find construction people myself, worry about maintenance, etc. So we found Atlanta Basements, and they've done a wonderful job so far. Our other option was our builder, who was going to offer us significantly less for our money.
Hi, I'm Misty Wade, and I did the last video because my husband travels a lot, but he is back, so this is Scott to give an update.
So after that, we went on the internet and called Judith up and had her come out, gave her the estimate that we were given. Basically, she did a review, called me back immediately with information on, hey, here's where the cost is, let me come out and look at your job site, it's a good deal, but let me see if I can help you out. And have her come up to the house, did a review, helped design some new rooms, encouraged some expansion on a movie theater room, and price was right where we needed our budget to be able to get this basement done to our liking.
Without upcharges.
Without upcharges. So.
Hey, my name is John Benar. I'm a physical therapist. I live out here in Villa Rica with my wife and 3 kids. I just want to tell you a little bit about our job that we had done here on our basement by Atlanta Basements. And we'll just kind of go, I guess, around the basement here to let you know what was done and what we thought about everything. The thing that I was most impressed with, or part of what I was impressed with, was all of this was done for a reasonable price on everything. We weren't looking for anything extra fancy. We wanted functional but nice, and we were laid out with the contract of what everything was going to cost and along each step of the way, and each step of the way that's exactly what it cost. Even if there were some small changes we needed to make somewhere, or something that needed to be redone, or something that ended up being a little bit more trouble because of existing problems with the basement, it all came out the same. So that was great. Again, my wife and I both work. We got the 3 little ones. We don't have a ton of time. We don't have, we didn't have an unlimited amount of money to spend. So that was great that everything was right as we expected.
I want to engage another contractor. I had a friend who had his basement finished off. Job was done really, really well, and had him come out and bid our job. The big issue after having him bid, I talked to my friend, is that when he came out and he did the job correctly, but there was a lot of stuff where he didn't know what was going on. He didn't know some of the add-on costs that were going to be charged, and wasn't kept abreast of the whole process. And when he was done, while it looked good, it was a lot higher than it first was supposed to be. And he also just felt like he was not kept up to date with what was going on in the process. So,
and when you were out of town when the labor took place.
And that's a good thing I should bring up too. This project started right around Christmas, and we had to go out of town for, to celebrate with family. But Judith and her crew were on site, and every day I'd have pictures at the end of the day to indicate how much progress had been made. So she kept me up to speed with everything that was going on, and there wasn't a day I was wondering what's going on with my basement. I was always attuned to what was happening.
Right. And one of the things I love about Atlanta Basement has been their communication. I email them in the middle of the night. They respond first thing in the morning. I can text them. I can call them. Literally, I probably contact them once, twice a day sometimes to once or twice a week, and our communication is very smooth. That's probably the biggest plus. And also
everything on an update standpoint, with me being out of town, has been getting emails and or voice message that correspond with the emails to know what's going on with the project. So as you can see, we're hustling right along.
Over the entire period, and emails about what's happened today, what's been completed today, what to expect tomorrow, so that everything has been flowing very, very well.
Hi, this is Dan Allen. This is video 2 for our diary, and from what I understand, the last video was cut off a little bit short, and what I was trying to say in the last video was that we may have had some problems with Judith as far as trying to get in touch with her, having her make appointments and stuff like that in the beginning, in the bidding phase of this. But now that she's here, she is devoted to our site. Emails, phone calls, everything is returned promptly. People are here. Things run smoothly, and she's devoted to our site, which is what we want.
And she wants to have the basement done, so we had basically shown her how we had done basements or projects for people that were out of town, and we sort of ran through some of the videos, I guess, that we did and so on, and then that was how we ended up. Her sister Veronica here is staying at the house while we were here, and it's turned out, as far as communication and everything,
very good.
Right?
Very
I mean,
good.
it's there's been no miscommunication from Jersey to here to through what's going to happen.
And I want to say this about Judith is a very good designer, and she works well with you, and she lets you know what's going on from point A to point Z. She lets you know. Right. And she contacted my sister via email as well as text.
Right, and then we send her videos.
Yes,
we keep her up to date with her being in videos.
Right. So everything's still on budget.
Great. And then do we want to talk about you being out of town when we were able to communicate the idea?
We had the design pretty much set. This is going to be the bedroom area, office bedroom, and the plan was to have a wall here and a door. And then, of course, when I was out of town, the designer called and said that she had a great idea. And, of course, once she said the idea, it was obviously a no-brainer. I told my wife, awesome, great, everybody loved it. And that was to, instead of having a wall the whole way across here, put in a nice-sized interior French door going back here. Great, awesome. I was out of town, called up, and had that completed. And then also, the French door is going to be sitting just a little bit behind this little archway. It's going to really kind of
Like an entrance.
Yeah, it's gonna look more like an entrance, a little more formal.
And then
I
two
guess,
sconces on the side.
For just the regular basement. So
right. I mean,
because
because this is an expensive basement per square foot because it's so small. And
Yeah.
so we're trying to do something to jazz it up a little bit with the funds spent.
Yep.
You know, and then.
But anyhow, so far everything that you see around me, including the HVAC right behind me, has been basically, along with the framing of the walls. Let's walk through the HVAC. But the HVAC system and the framing and the electrical, the spotlights, everything that you see was done like in a week and 1 day.
It's 1 week in. We started 1 week ago on February the 21st. It's now February the 28th. And as you will see, there has been a lot of progress. We have electrical. That works. Can light. Off and on. We did not have this previously. We have an open basement with recesses that are design finishes that were not included in some of my other estimates. As you walk through here, again, we have some lighting going on. And in 1 week's time, as you can see, we've got sheetrock delivered, going up tomorrow. We've got the framing complete. The plumbing is complete. Everything is ready for sheetrock in a week. It's incredible.
Today is April the 4th. It is 1 week and 1 day since the last video, and what we have accomplished so far is all of the electrical is done. We're going to start testing some outlets and stuff like that once we wrap that up, and all the lighting fixtures are in. All the housings are up, and we've started putting some bulbs in. We're going to test some of those. The plumbing is almost complete. I mean, we're getting pretty close to being finished with that. And they've done an amazing job. There's different contractors here. There's plumbing going on, there's electrical going on, and everybody's working together and helping one another out and getting the job done.
Or the stone or whatever.
Obviously, you can see everything has progressed unbelievably fast and efficient. All the contractors have come in. They've all worked together. The electrician was here at the same time as the framers. The HVAC guy was here at the same time as the plumbers, putting in these trays, which that's a whole nother thing, right? About how, I expected to have this low drop ceiling like every other basement, but with what the designer recommended was just simply rerouting a couple things that were in the way into these trays, and then, bam, I have a 10-foot ceiling. It's awesome.
Okay, you ready? We're going to go camera. Alright, today is April 28th, 3 weeks into the project, and as you can see, we are now at the point where everything's framed. We are going to be, today they're going to be doing trim work, but everything else is framed in. We've got, this whole hallway is now complete. Got doors up everywhere. Got the door frame everywhere. So we're everything's ready to rock and roll. We're now in installation phase.
And it's March 23rd, and it is a little past 4 weeks when we initially started. However, this was the first time we were available to get together to do the video. So the contract version of the construction, the basic construction, was completed in a 4-week time frame. And I'm just going to outline a couple of things as we walk through. All that is left other than that is the paint. This is one of the arches. This was the other arch that existed previously, but we filled it in, and now you can see it doesn't even look like it was ever there. And in here, you can see we have the columns, which all trimmed out. Everything has been sprayed prime, and all we are waiting on is the paint, which we've had a little bit of issues getting some of the paint mixed. But I'm about to leave for Spain in about 2 hours, so I've asked that they not be here since my mother-in-law is going to be taking care of my kids here, so that she doesn't have to worry about that. They're going to come back in a week and paint, and we're going to be done with this project. And it has been an incredible experience from start to finish. It has worked very well, very seamless, very quick, and and it's going to look outstanding. It already does look outstanding, but when the colors get in here, it's really going to be pretty.
This is my basement where I'm standing, and then and 2 days back we had this drywall, and then this drywall has been done by the Francisco, and then you can see how this drywall has been done. So nice and then elegant, and then you look at these arches, like, you know, they are, you know, perfect, and like, you know, and they look really great and then symmetrical, and then you see these edges like to the doors, and they're really razor sharp, and then you can see those razor slides, and then vents and all these things. They're perfectly to the precise, and then there's no gaps or anything, and then. And this whole thing has been done in like in a day, even like in a half a day, and then the other guys came in and applied the mud, and then they are done by evening. So
you're very pleased with Francisco's work?
I'm really, really pleased, and he's a fantastic guy.
All of his edging is very, very, very precise. He's quick and he's very responsible. When he says he's going to be here Monday at 7:30, he's here at
Monday 7:30.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. That's according to plan.
And then now
and then everything is itemized.
Okay, and we're right now at the conclusion of basic construction. We should be about two weeks and 6 days or so ahead of schedule.
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
2 weeks.
One of those things is actually moving this bathroom over. We're going to be moving this wall completely over about 4 feet. Additionally, none of the other estimates talk anything about opening up this stairway and moving the drain lines back on this bathroom. The drain lines were originally right here. They incised the concrete, pushed the drain lines over, opened up this stairway, and were very conscious about replacing the vapor barrier and making sure that everything was done properly. As a mother of 3 small children, we were very concerned about all of the construction going on in the house, making sure it was safe for our kids and that our kids would not be disturbed because of it. When they did the incision on the concrete, there was a terrible gas smell, but I was prepared for it. Judith let me know that it was going to happen, how long it would last, it was going to be just fine.
Judith is the only one who mentioned the cutting of the concrete too. Had a concern with the media room, which was not going to be huge, but she had some really great ideas on trying to get us as big as possible, cut the concrete, to move the bathroom a little bit because it's in a horrible location. The only one who mentioned it, and when we mentioned it to other people, they really kind of freaked out and said, oh, it's not worth the cost, and you just get another foot, and it's not that big of a deal. So I think she's just not afraid to get her hands on it.
We did have the concrete incised. There's no jackhammers, no nothing on site. The guys came out and they cut the concrete. $850 was a great price. And they came out and moved the drain probably 20 feet or so. Dug everything up, cut the vapor barrier, put everything in, and then filled it back in and took pictures of everything and cleaned everything up nice. They did a very good job. And
well, I thought we would have to get one of the
Santa
Flow toilets, and so of course,
which are ugly. And you know what? I'll do a Google Hangout with you, Chris, and I'm going to edit this and put in the Santa Flow toilet because it's ugly.
We talked about it. I would need a toilet, and then the shower and the sink. Everything would have to go together exactly right, so everything goes into the one pump. Then for the bar, I'd have to have another pump to pump everything up because we're down below
the sewer line.
Below the sewer line, so everything would have had to pump up, including the bar. So.
And then you can't, remember we were going to have the configuration. You remember how Santa Flush was laid out? You got dark in there. Remember how Santa Flush was laid out? Santa Flow was laid out where the toilet connects to the shower, connects to the sink, and you didn't have the freedom of where you wanted to put the shower.
Everything had to be exactly in the same spot, so that they would all feed into that same little pump.
Right.
Then another pump for the bar.
Right.
This was cut out one hole. I mean, it was a lot of work, I suppose, with the jackhammer and concrete cutter, but the contractor got that done, the plumber got that done just in one day, basically, no problem. So,
very good.
It all fit in. It's a better design. I talked to other plumbers, which I didn't mention to you, and they said that if they were going to do it on their house, they would rather have the line dug up than to put that. So I didn't mention that to you, but once they told me that, then I felt a lot more comfortable going ahead and busting that up, and it worked out great. And again, the cost didn't even change. Yeah. It's a better system, and everything keeps fitting into the budget somehow. So it's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
We had travertine marble here on the floor. It was supposed to be, what kind of marble was it supposed to be? It was supposed to be porcelain tile. And they didn't have the porcelain tile in stock, and so we got it upgraded to the travertine marble, and there was no change in the price, the original price that was quoted, so that was a great thing. The bathroom is all done. We have, what kind of? Cream to face seal marble in the bathroom, pumice marble on the ceiling and the floor, and it looks great. Board nose edging on the walls and on the floor, and as you can see, it looks real good. We're very, very satisfied with it.
Hi, my name's Mark, and I'm an emergency room physician. Judith has helped me kind of do our tile work here in the floor area and then into the bathroom, which I'll show you in a minute. Before this project, we kind of went through some different ideas on what kind of tile, what style we're going to use. I was under a budget of about $3,400, and I wanted to do that in this amount, and she worked well with me in that regard. We laid out the tile on the ground. We picked the patterns that we wanted. We went through either travertine or just these
porcelain
plates, and we picked a nice tile. And now I'll show you the bathroom itself. This is the bathroom, and it's relatively small, but what we did is we sectioned this area out for the shower. We did a nice job of putting in the bench. It's very sturdy. There's no wood anywhere in this shower. This is all cinder blocked underneath. She picked out and chose a nice tile, bullnose edge, as you can see all around. Initially, I just wanted a basic tiling, but Judith recommended some accents, which is a nice addition to the bathroom.
Okay, and then we'll just finish up with this exterior wall. It's hard to get it on okay, excellent.
I really benefited from that. It looks incredible with marble, tumbled marble trim and tile floor and shower.
I'm here with our finisher, Tony Torres, and our homeowner, Mr. Jackson, and we were on a budget of about, it was about 6?
Yeah, it's about that, close to
7,000, 6,000, something like that. We haven't looked at the numbers in a while, but it was somewhere in that, and we wanted a larger look, and you sent us the picture of what you wanted. You wanted some pub, some granite. Some kitchen experience, some granite. So we went with an oak, which is not something that we normally do. And we've done this before, we've done videos on it before, because we're very pro oak from a budget standpoint, but what do you think of the finish, sir?
I think the finish came out very well. At first I was a little skeptical, but as it started coming together, it turned out perfect. Especially the finish on it. We just love the finish, the dark, rich look. It gives us, like Tony said, the old pub style, and that's what we was looking for. We wanted the bar / kitchenette look, and that's what we received. So we are very happy with this.
Tony, can you tell us how this was done? Just how we arrived at the color and how you toned the finish.
We started with a conditioner. We conditioned all of the wood after puttying and sanding it all with 220 sanding paper. We put a conditioner down and then the stain, which was a wiping stain.
All right, and what was the role of the conditioner?
The role of the conditioner, it's intended to reduce any kind of blotchiness and make the stain go on smoother.
And then how did we get the grain to come out in the finish?
Basically modified the oil-based wiping stain by adding some NGR alcohol-based toners to it. What you do by doing that is you raise the grain, you darken the grain, and bring it through to the finish.
Okay, that's the most important step, right? And
yes.
What we're looking at here, it's the raising of the grain.
Yes.
Okay,
what
I agree.
we did after the fact is we sealed it twice with a vinyl sealer, and then we toned it with a combination of a small amount of the wiping stain as well as a combination of NGR stains. In the sealer, put a coat of that toner down, and then 2 coats of top coat.
Okay, and then one of the things that finishers and all of us have a problem with when we're doing a hard coat, clear coat, is environmental contaminants, whether it could be dust in the air or it could be, and you can see it in the finish. How is it that you're able to make it so that it's absolutely clear?
The way that we did that is we very thorough on cleaning up the substrate before we put the coats on. But more than anything, we use a very efficient spraying technology known as air-assisted airless, which has a very small amount of overspray. Typically, the amount of trash that you see on the substrate has a lot to do with the overspray.
Right.
That comes from your spray equipment. My spray equipment is very efficient. It has about 90% transfer efficiency. Only about 10% of the coating ends up in the air. So therefore, you minimize all that trash, and by cleaning the substrate and then spraying with that spraying technology, you reduce any kind of trash.
All right, well, that's how you can make a quality control expert happy with your finish on your bar.
So I have some more inspections to go through, and they're going to be painting my bar this weekend. So
Staining, no finishing. Staining, finishing is not painting. Please.
Okay. They're going to be finishing my bar this weekend while I'm out of town, so that's going to be really nice.
Ayana is here with her bar, and it has taken him actually just one day of prep and 1 day of staining and 1 day of finishing. And Ayana, how do you like the color?
I love my color. I love my bar. It looks like a brand new bar. It totally looks different than anything else. I love it. It's awesome.
And how would you rate him as far as the finish goes, as far as the quality of the work he did?
The quality of work, I would definitely rate it a 10. I just didn't have any expectations. I didn't know it would look like this. It looks like a total different bar from after they built it and before they stained it. It looks totally different. It looks like something in a
pub.
restaurant.
It looks like something in a pub.
At a sports bar. It looks wonderful. I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
And this was right under $6,000.
Yep.
Right under
Yep.
$6,000.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. And here's what it is coming around here.
I have my sink is going to be.
Right. It's got the sink, and this is all lacquer, so it's all base lacquer, so it's all gonna. This is what it's gonna look like 10 years from now. This is an oil-based lacquer.
Spanish for her.
All right, here we are.
I start speaking my own language, and that's nice, right?
Please do not. Please do not. Okay, we're here with Tony Torres, our kitchen cabinetry finisher extraordinaire, and our homeowner, Alfred. Alfred, can we just talk a little bit about the kitchen cabinetry finishing? We were on a very, very tight budget right towards the end, and so we bought what you would call very affordable cabinetry from one of the large home improvement warehouses, which could have come out like not so great. But Tony here did a finish. We picked the finish from, it was a picture, right, at Home Depot?
Yes, we did this one in mahogany and then one in natural, an alternate combination, and then everything they kind of done very professionally, and then they're really cool, and then he did in a day, morning till evening, and that's.
And where were you, Alfred, when this was going on?
I was just standing next to him, and then over there,
Okay.
Really cool thing what
this is our new little design for the stairs.
This is really cool. This is fantastic.
The difference between this and the cabinetry is the wood type. We used a solid pine wood on this design, which was a little more complicated to get that same color depth and exact color which he wanted matched. We took a a way where we used 3 different steps of color to give it that color depth and that color intensity. And by the time it was all done, it matches pretty good.
Right, and we were able to eke out an extra bar on the original budget. That was how it went. We originally went with certain cabinets that were pre-done. And what happened was Alfred really wanted this extra bar area, and it wasn't in the budget. And so what happened was one of the home improvement warehouses had this very, what we would say is marginal cabinetry at best in oak, which is not normally our first choice of wood. Okay, and then can you just feel the door for the people that are viewing? And what does...
Silky smooth.
It is
what we have here is an NGR stain.
Right. Don't give away all our secrets now. Yeah. Don't be selling the farm here.
So what we do is...
It is an alcohol-based stain.
It is an alcohol-based stain, and we seal and tone and shade over that. So as a total, we have 3 different color steps as well on here.
Right.
And we do the same both the front and the back.
And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. If you're on a budget, right? If you're on a budget with this.
And what we used here was a semi-gloss top coat, which is actually a pre-catalyzed lacquer. What pre-catalyzed means is it basically means that it's got an acid catalyst in it, which allows it to last about 3 times as long as conventional acrylic and nitrocellulose coatings. So this, even though it was an economy project,
it's come out.
We're get something that's gonna last them 20 years, you know.
And I'm pleased, he's pleased, everybody's pleased with the outcome on this. Everybody was a winner. Okay. All right, Tim and Cheryl, what do you think of the black trim in your basement?
We love it.
Okay, did you want it initially?
No, we hated it.
You hated it?
We thought it was going to be horrible, and we just love it.
Right.
Yeah, I would have never thought I would like it, and I love it.
Yes.
Hello, Rollins and Ellen here. We are at the end of our project, and we're very, very excited that it's about over. It's on time. Everything was according to the specifications in the contract, no changes. Again, she just was very, very helpful in picking out all the lighting, the fans, the flooring. Everything just turned out real great. What else, Evelyn?
We love the bitter chocolate and all the trim work, the doors. Traditionally, we would go with white, but Judith suggested that we go with the bitter chocolate, and it turned out really pretty. So we're real satisfied with that.
And she did a great job. She's
very great job.
Good to work with. We were very, very pleased with her work and her service. Thank you.